Good morning and welcome to New York. I'm Gabe Ibrahim. This is Dano Mataya. We're in Dano's house because we just watched the WNBA draft last night. I was lucky enough to come up here from DC, stay with my buddy, and got to see the draft. I thought we had a great time, man. What'd you think?
Well, one, I want to thank you for calling this a house.
It's a New York house.
It's a very, very small apartment. But dude, what a time!
What is up?
Saw some surprises. Saw some long-term plays by some teams that we'll get into. Saw some great fits. People were dressed to the nines.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I love the draft in New York. It means something.
No, it really does. And this city, yes, it is. As we said yesterday, it's the most uncomfortable city in the world. Let's talk general vibes of the draft. And I stand by it. General vibes of the draft. We had to stand for the entire time. So by the mid first round, my back was locking up.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like we needed to stretch. We did not work out properly to get ready for the draft, I think.
Yeah, I haven't worked out in like 2 months. But I will say the views that we had, I mean, we stood in the spot. We had it. We get to watch Holly Rowe do her walk around.
Yes,
see a
did.
lot of complaints on Twitter about that. One, we could barely hear inside the draft room what Holly was saying. But generally, just from the vibes I get on Twitter, that people don't like it.
It sets everyone up to fail, right? Like that's a situation that is not good for anybody. And I don't think they should do that again. But yeah, it was pretty cringy in this. Just like, why are we sitting around walking? Like, let's just get to the draft. And it was really difficult, obviously, because we couldn't hear the what was being said. So it wasn't like we had any idea what was happening or any context. So yeah, I thought the walk around was weird. We don't need to do that next year. We could just talk hoops, guys. As we always say on this podcast, let's just talk hoops. That's what we're all about. But yeah, no, I thought it was a little awkward. And as Phoenix said, though, to get back to the general stuff, Zaya killed the fit.
Oh yes,
clutch performer. That's what we've been saying all year.
Yes, that's true. You did call that out last night. But to me, all the Gamecocks looked so damn good.
Everyone looked good.
Oh my god, yeah. Like every fit was beautiful, stunning, fun. My favorite was like being right by Kim Mulkey.
Yes.
She goes up to Alexis Morris and was like, "Who's that sexy girl?" I mean, amazing.
Oh my god, Kim Mulkey had a great time. Everyone had a great time. We saw all the coaches. I think the coach who had the most fun may have been Terry Mormon. Seeing Grace Berger go 7th, stay in Indiana, she was so loud right next to us.
You were right next to her. So when she screamed, did you get like shocked or anything? I mean, it was loud.
I kind of saw her coming up, and she was like behind. So we were standing next to Bill Fellenly from Iowa State, Kelly Harper from Tennessee. Gino Ariema briefly walked in front of the commissioner's teleprompter, causing a small panic because he was late because he's Gino. And so that was very, very funny. And then but I heard her coming up, so I was like, okay, someone's gonna come up behind me, I better be ready. And then she just like fist pumped and went crazy. I loved it. That's exactly what the draft's all about.
No, I mean that was straight up beautiful. How can you not love Terry Moran?
No,
God, great coach, great person. And Grace is staying in Indiana. Indiana, big win for the state of Indiana last night.
Big win for the state of Indiana. And speaking of, that's a great segue into their biggest win. Aliyah Boston, first overall pick to Indiana. We knew it was coming. Yeah. We've known it was coming all season since the Fever won the draft lottery. And she's going to be the centerpiece of their defense and hopefully a centerpiece of their franchise going forward. I mean, I kind of feel like for us, Aliyah's got lost in the draft shuffle just because it's been so known that she was going to be the first overall pick. But now that we've had a second to think, about what she's going to do in Indiana, what do you think her impact could be this season for the Fever?
I think they have a lot to work on discipline-wise defensively. And I think that's where she's going to come in and bring that. I mean, because it's probably a staple of her game. I mean, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get effort. You're going to get size, versatility on the defensive end. She can switch. I mean, obviously the level of competition is going to be a lot higher than what she's seen in college, but I love the fit. I mean, it's kind of a piece they needed. I mean, they got a lot of size with her, Smith, Engsler. Like, I mean, they could have some really fun lineups with this squad. And seeing them have so many draft picks over the years, it's exciting to finally get that big center that a lot of teams need.
Yeah, and like getting a post presence, like they're getting someone who can develop with them too. And you see what Asia Wilson did for Las Vegas. That's the kind of impact they're hoping to have. We're gonna see how long it takes her to get there. But I mean, I've said it a few times. Like, I just think she's the type of player who's gonna figure out every challenge in front of her. And I think she is going to develop a little bit more in the post, and hopefully she develops a little bit more from the perimeter. And I think she's the type of player who can do that. And like you're saying, like, I like it. I like what Indiana has now. You look at the core they have: Nalissa Smith, Queen Egbo, Emily Engsler, those young players, along with Kelsey Mitchell, who was also at the draft. Stud, who refused to tell us who Indiana was picking, which I thought was ridiculous.
But I think she gave some hints.
So she was
some sarcastic hints.
She was having fun on that when we went to go visit the Empire State Building. But she's going to fit in pretty well with them, and now it's just a matter of how these players develop, and then kind of the surrounding talent around them. And I think it's really cool that Destiny Henderson and Aliyah Boston get to reunite after winning a title together. That's the last time they played together, so that's going to be a really fun reunion. And yeah, good for Indiana. Lynn Dunn getting it done.
Lynn Dunn getting it done.
Miami Hurricanes legend, by the way.
Make sure it's with that. Lynn Dunn gets it done. I don't know, something. There's something there.
There's something there. Lynn, we'll call your people. But we got 7 minutes into the podcast before I mention Miami.
Yeah. Big win for us.
We're getting there, folks.
On a Tuesday.
But yeah, so I mean, Boston. There's not that much more to be said because we know how good she is. We just want to see her in the WNBA at this point, and we get to see it. It was a wonderful moment for her and her family and just everyone there. I mean, it was just, again, the general vibes, amazing all around.
Yeah, she had so much, like, just radiating happiness. Like, I bet all the players, maybe Haley Jones was kind of the same way, but like, just Aliyah was smiling the entire day. Like, it was awesome. So happy for her. It was on Good Morning America today. We didn't watch it. We got coffee.
Yeah, we did get coffee. We're pretty tired. We're pretty tired, but it's okay. Moving on. You want to get on to we're just gonna go through the first like 3 picks because I think they're all important and interesting, and I think they went the way that I expected. So I like to take a victory lap. Shouts to Gabe's mock draft for telling you how those first 3 picks would go. Diamond Miller to Minnesota.
Gabe's mock draft. Yeah,
Gabe's mock draft.
I mean, we'll get into kind of the meaty pick at 3, but Diamond, I've been on Team Diamond for a while. I think she has about as much potential as anyone in this draft. So much versatility, so much length, scores at all 3 levels. Not all 3 levels well yet, but I love her and the fit with this team. I don't know if she's going to crack the starting lineup. Maybe like she plays. I mean, they have some weird, funky lineups they can do with Diamond. Diamond, Kayla, Aerial Powers. I mean, this team can run.
Oh yeah,
like Lynx are gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, and I mean, especially Sil retires, right? Yeah. And now they put together maybe one of the best transition teams in the WNBA, like you mentioned, with Diamond and Ariel and McBride and Tiffany Mitchell, who's going to be battling for that 3 spot with Diamond hypothetically, and then Nafisa Collier at the 4.
Forget about her sometimes,
right?
Yeah,
really though, you do forget about Nafisa.
Yeah, and I mean, think that might be one of the best small ball lineups in the league right now. I mean, like, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We haven't seen Diamond play a minute of WNBA ball yet, but if there was someone I was like, putting a lot of my eggs into one basket, it'd be her. Was there any inkling of anyone that you thought might go to the Lynx?
No, because honestly, what happened for us when we were standing there? It was like Diamond's family was behind us. So you're only allowed to have 3 people at the table with you. So it was Diamond and her parents, and then one of her brothers, and she had 2 other brothers, one brother and 2 sisters who were right behind us. And they start getting all excited when pick 2 came. So I was like, oh, okay. So we kind of ushered them to the front so they could take pictures of Diamond as she got picked. And you could see the cameras on her, and it was just So I knew what then,
Yeah.
but then it was also like I kind of felt like there's no way you can not take a player who has so much athleticism, so many gifts with the ball in her hands on the perimeter. Yeah, her shooting, it's not there. Maybe it never gets there from three, but she can do so much else with the ball and so much on the defensive end that she's going to fit in with Cheryl Reeve's system. And man, I just thought about that, small ball lineup that
it's fun.
McBride, Powers, Mitchell, Collier as the 5, Miller as a 4, or however you want to put those guys. That's really tough lineup to stop.
Yeah, I mean, you give up a lot rebounding, but if you can't stop them from scoring, what are you going to do?
No, and Diamond's a really good rebounder, and Nafisa's a great rebounder, and you could get away with that hypothetically.
Yeah, as Magic Johnson says, you have to score more points than the other team to win a game.
So yes, the game is and always is. It always was about buckets. Magic had a tweet storm, I believe. I don't remember. He did congratulate Brie Beal. I'm not sure he congratulated any other sports picks, but Magic, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Magic. So Diamond is going to be an interesting fit there. Why is my Twitter in Japanese all of a sudden?
Yeah, well, that's
shouts to Elon, man.
That's on you, I guess. But I will say seeing the fist bump from Gabe Ibrahim. I don't know if we caught it on TV, but when Maddie Siegrist got picked third,
I called it.
I was a little surprised. Then again, like I don't really know how to kind of evaluate what Dallas is doing, and I don't really know what their plans are long term outside of building around Enrique. But I mean, you're getting a proven scorer. You're getting somewhat size, but Maddie Siegrist is 6'1", and a player who's had to do so much for the last 4 years to finally be able to kind of be a role player on this squad potentially. And I have high hopes for Maddie Siegrist.
Oh yeah. No, I think we've all said it, right? Like, what is Dallas's plan? Apparently their plan in this draft was to get white shooters.
Said it.
Every single one of their draft picks was white, and every single one of them could shoot. Probably just a coincidence. But Dallas, they did lose Marina Mabrey, and I guess you do need 6 shooters to try to replace her because you just kept stacking up these picks, and Maddie being the first one, and Maddie was the one that I thought really fit with what they're trying to do. I mean, you look at where this team is; they don't have a ton of shooting anywhere really. I mean, just Sably has the hypothetical shot that we haven't really seen. Burton, her shot came around, but she's not necessarily a shooter at the point guard position. Tasha Howard can shoot threes, not her game, and then Tiara McCowan just doesn't step outside the paint. So now you're looking at this team that doesn't have a ton of shooting, can use a bench scorer, someone to handle the ball on the bench, and just like a secondary scoring option to attack from the other side of Enrique. I think Maddie's going to give them that along with that shooting, so she can be on the floor a little bit more with Enrique and kind of help on the backup lineups and play with all of Dallas's talent. I just think she's a really versatile fit for what they're trying to do, and they have enough defensive talent, I think, to kind of cover for her in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's valid, and I mean, it's weird seeing a team essentially get 3 straight picks because of the trade, which we'll get into later.
We'll talk about that,
but yeah, I mean, if you think about kind of the ceiling of Maddie, I really can't put context to it. I could be amazing, could be an absolutely amazing player if she develops a handle and other ways to score. Because like we said with Aliyah Boston going up against much tougher competition, you're not going to be scoring 1,000 points a season, but Maddie has tools and all different types of shot creation that a lot of players don't come into the league with. And I think, the stuff she's had to go through at Villanova of holding, that production load is going to be great for her. And you get to play alongside one of the best shot creators in the league right now. So it could be fun. I mean, I want to stay optimistic with Dallas. That's what I want to do.
I'm optimistic. There's a pattern with their draft picks.
Yeah.
It's shooting. Shooting was the pattern. Shooters. No, but for Maddie, the ceiling point's interesting because Do you see her as an all-star? Do you see her as a role player? To me, I think her game, and don't get me wrong, folks, listen to what I'm about to say, has the stylings of an Elena Delle Donne. And that's someone that she said, like, I watched a lot of her to kind of pick up some of her moves, some of her fadeaways, kind of has the stylings of that. So how do you deploy that in a package that's smaller than Elena Delle Donne, right? Like, is that a type of player can become an all-star? Because I think, we didn't say this with the first 2 picks, but I think Aliyah Boston, we think her ceiling's probably defensive player of the year, someone who can get into the MVP conversation with development. Dia Miller, I think can be an all-star ceiling. I think she's a starter most likely. Yeah. And then with Maddie, it's kind of like, more all over the place.
Yeah. Definitely probably a lower floor than the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like that Delle Donne comp, just in a smaller package. And anytime someone says Delle Donne, you can't help but smile and think about one of the greatest players I've ever seen. And same thing, versatile scorer, like incredible footwork, incredible touch. Maddie probably has the best touch of anyone in this draft.
Yes.
Like, it's such a weird concept of just evaluating someone's touch with the ball, but like she catches everything and she makes ridiculous shots. So yeah, I like it.
I like it too, and I think it really fits in with their surrounding talent. So I like that move for Dallas. Let's get into the other move that perhaps we don't like as much for Dallas. With the 4th overall pick, the Washington Mystics, who again got this pick from the Atlanta Dream last year for trading down from the number 1 overall selection, which that pick they got from the LA Sparks the year before. So they've kind of rolled this pick over for a few years and gotten some great talent and some great value out of it. And this one is just an amazing move, in my opinion, for Mike Thibault. He continues to do this. He can't keep getting away with it. I don't know, but Mike and Eric Thibault pull off another. He can't keep getting away with it. Actually, I'm fine with it because I live in DC, so this is great stuff for me. But so they draft Stephanie Suarez from Iowa State, a center front who has a really high ceiling, amazing stuff that she can do, but she can be hurt all year. So the Mystics take her and then immediately move her to Dallas for a future first-round pick in 2025 from Atlanta that the Wings picked up this offseason in the Alicia Gray trade, and a 2024 second-round pick. Both those picks, I think, could be really good players considering how deep the 2024 draft is looking. And then if some of those players do not come out that we're thinking about in 2024, some people such as Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Haley Van Lith, bunch of great college players. If those players don't come out, Angel Reese, if those players don't come out in 2024, guess what? They come out in 2025. And 2025, I'm pretty sure those players do not have a COVID year. So that's like Olivia Miles, Sonia Citrone, AZ Flood. Those players are coming out in 2025. So that 2025 draft could be unbelievable. And the 2024 draft could be deep enough that second round pick that the Mystics get from the Wings is also super valuable for a player that I can almost guarantee you Washington did not want. Unbelievable stuff from Mike Thibault.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you have some insight into the Mystics front office, and you were texting some people last night, and I want to.
I had no insight into that with that happening.
Well, yeah, no insight to it happening, but to the kind of I mean, your immediate look at me when it was announced just was wow, and I'm like, really didn't grasp the situation of like how smart this was. I mean, like it's essentially it's like we have a great roster right now. We did super well last year, Shakira Austin, and you know what's down the horizon. And I mean, you're really setting up, new head coach Eric Thibault to be in a spot to grow with this team and to get better in the next coming years. It's fantastic. So, it's hard to say a team who didn't have a first round pick did exceptionally well in a draft. Because they don't have one now. They traded it away, but they did.
They did an amazing job. And like, especially for this team that, by and large for the Mystics is totally set. Like the roster is almost completely set. And, I don't know how they continue to pull this stuff off. I mean, I feel like we heard all those rumblings of the Suarez interest, and I'm guessing, and it didn't come from me because I don't do the reporting at this point, but it seemed like the Mystics were kind of pushing that out there to show how much they really like Suarez, so that the Wings would think they would really like Suarez, and then once they took her, that's kind of when the move came together. Again, no inside information, just kind of reading the tea leaves and guessing what happened. Just like an unbelievable move. I just think it was such a great move. And hey, look, maybe it doesn't work out right. Maybe the Mystics second round pick next year doesn't make the team. Maybe the first round pick turns out to be like the 10th pick and it's not a difference maker. Okay, still from an asset perspective.
Yes, asset. Yep.
From an asset perspective, to take this pick that you didn't see anyone helping you this year and turning it into some future assets, that's what you want to see. And it's not like in the way that, and no offense to Dallas, I actually kind of like what they've done, but like Dallas kind of is turning too much of those things into future picks. Mystics taking picks, turning it into future picks. That's really difficult to do in this league, and it doesn't happen very often. It seems to really only happen for the Mystics. So I'm stunned and floored by what they did. As per usual, Mike Tebow's a wizard.
I want to ask you a question, and I want, and I mean this in the nicest way. Is Stephanie Suarez, in your mind, worth a future first and a future second, knowing the context of who is going to be coming out in these next two drafts?
No. I mean, frankly, no one is. And that's why I was shocked.
Wow, no one is.
In this draft, I would not have traded any future first round assets for any players in this draft. And not to say like
maybe Boston.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the players you couldn't trade for, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah.
It sounded like a blatant statement. I'm sorry.
1, 2, maybe even 3, maybe give up, but not even, because you can't even protect the picks. So to me, I'm not doing that because I love Maddie Segrist and I love Diamond Miller. Aliyah Boston's different, but you couldn't get her. That was ungettable. Yeah. There was no way to get her.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of the players in this draft are worth giving up the future, just the potential value.
Yeah, it's not even close.
It's not even, it's not to say that these players are so much better coming out. It's just like the future value of a pick is worth so much just to say we have a pick and just to be able to use this pick in the future, right? Now the Mystics can take this 2025 pick and trade it for someone who maybe could be an impact player next offseason in terms of a veteran.
Yeah, and mind you, the Mystics are not going to be a lottery team. They are going to be outside of the top two, we got to come up with a name for the top two. The outside of the super teams,
right?
They are a contender. So having these picks and still being able to put an incredible product on the court. As a Houston Rockets fan, this is something I have no context of. So yeah, I'm incredible.
This is like stuff that rarely happens. We're a team this good who they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs last year and they still get this pick. And then the year before, getting that pick for getting the number 1 overall selection. I mean, that's just it's a great franchise in terms of that, and they have turned it into stuff. And I think with Atlanta Deladon's health coming back, that'd be great for them. Let's talk about it though from the Dallas side. I know I get really caught up in the Mystics, obviously, but for Dallas, so they make this move, and I kind of understand the idea here in terms of we have $1 billion first round picks already, going forward, and now, we have a treasure trove. This player is someone that if they hit is a tremendous piece, right? Yeah. If the theory of Stephanie Suarez comes true, she's a 3-point shooter. She can play, out in as well as in out, and she can be just a tremendous rim protector. You've created someone that is, the center you have now, Tierra McCowan, with a wider skill set. Yeah. If it hits, so I understand taking the flyer there. I think they gave up too much, but if they really like her, I do understand it.
Yeah, and we're talking about somebody who's played half a season at the D1 level,
294 minutes at D1.
So, and she was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Did fantastic. So the potential for growth is still there. I mean, you know where I stand. Like, I didn't like the Sobley pick last year. I don't like picking injured players, and I don't, and it's a bad sign of things to come, just in general. But if, like you said, if it works out, stays healthy, and continues to grow as a player, definitely has a high ceiling. So I'm with it. I just would not have. I don't want to be mean to Dallas. I just wouldn't have done it.
I wouldn't have done it either. But they do. And look, this Dallas. I'll look at it.
It's a risk.
It's an absolute risk. But I kind of get where they're coming from, because they want to be more set up, I believe, going forward in terms of where they're going to be. They don't want to have. I don't think they want to continue having all of these picks. Is their issue? But they still have two first rounders next year. So they still have 2 first rounders next year, and the following year, I believe they only have their own now. Yeah, so they only have their own in 2025. But still, like that's a lot of picks, right? That's a lot of picks for a team to have. So I understand the mentality of it, of like, this player, we can get her in, and see what she's like, and then not have to have her on the roster this year, because someone's getting cut from these teams, right? Not everyone can make a team. So I get it. But I don't think I would have ended up doing it. Then, like, right after that, the next pick was also kind of a shocker, with Lou Lopez-Seneschal going 5th.
Yeah.
And, hey, I'm a big Lou fan. 44% from 3 this year. UConn player, like, great. UConn players get a lot of benefit of the doubt from me, because they play in a pro system. She can hit pull-ups. She can hit catch and shoots. One of the best shooters in draft, and for my money, the second best shooter in the draft. But she is a really, really good shooter, and they wanted someone who I think could do exactly what she wanted. And just taking her 5th, I don't know. Maybe other teams were higher on her. I didn't have her that high, so maybe they were forced to take her there in case they would miss.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the alternative is with, as far as like what they were looking for, because I mean, they were able to get some players late that were still around that I probably didn't see. But I also think Lou, like, just from her like come up, I mean, you were talking about a player from Fairfield who, and we thought her collegiate career was over. I did not expect what she was going to do at UConn. Complete surprise. I mean, she might have been she was the best offensive player on the team that year.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
And the potential is up there. I've been saying potential way too much, but
that's the draft, baby.
But yeah, I'm just so damn proud of Lou. That is awesome. so sick, and I hope she tears it up. I mean, I still got to look at like the whole composition of this roster to understand like exactly how she fits. But the good thing about her game is she can really play off ball well. Like, I think that was the problem with, the Marina Enrique minutes. I think those players are most successful when they both had the ball in their hand and were able to create. Lou is going to be moving around screens constantly, setting herself up for open shots. And Enrique is definitely a much better passer than she gets credit for. I mean, she's going to love finding Lou in the corner. So I'm with it. I think this is probably my favorite pick of Dallas's.
Yeah. No, I think, look, and this is something I always say pretty much every year, is like, a lot of people say, that's a stretch, right? Like, that's a reach. You reach, like, that player would have been available later. It's like, I don't care about that. If you pick a player, that's a player you like, and it's a player you think is going to be really good in your system, I don't care where you pick them. Yeah. Like, hey, maybe there's an opportunity cost here, right? Like, they did have to give up the opportunity of taking a Haley Jones, a Grace Berger, but they ended up getting the people I think they really liked, and maybe they saw, they have more intel than us, so they probably heard someone else is interested in Lou between 6 and 11, and they had the 11th pick, and they said, hey, we have to grab her now. We don't care if it's reach. That's our girl. So I just think it doesn't matter what pick she got selected at. I think she's going to be helpful for them.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to see how quickly she develops. And, like you're saying, like, this roster is interesting. Like, we are going to see, I mean, it's looking like, you just look at it, Charlie Collier probably not going to be on this roster next year. That's the number 1 pick that they had before. You look at Jasmine Dickey is that player is going to stick around here now because they have 3 picks and they currently have 11 players on the roster. One of them is a training camp contract. And then so we have 2 players basically that they're going to have to move in order to get all 3 of these draft picks in. So interesting state of the roster. I think they did get shooters though that play off the ball, which as you mentioned is huge for a weekend.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, I kind of wanted them to take like a more of a slasher. I mean, they lose Thornton, but you have Howard, but Howard's not really a slasher, not a bad cutter.
Yeah.
But this is where I think somebody like Jordan Horston would have been a solid pick for Dallas. I think Jordan Horston has a lot of potential. I'm not as high on her as other people were. I don't think she was the best player on her Tennessee team.
No.
But I think that's something that they are going to be missing. And I mean, granted, Savely's been hurt a lot. So, who knows? But still, you get 3rd, 4th, 5th pick, and then now then you get 11 and you take another white shooter. So
they took Abby Myers 11th, and I think calling her a shooter is a little bit like
score.
Yeah, lose a shooter.
Yeah.
I would say Abby's a dog, man.
Yeah,
Abby's a dog. Like she is just someone who's going to do anything for your team. Like, and one of the people also can get in a fight for your team. Like, I just think she's a toughie, and I love the way she plays basketball. I was not shocked because we had talked about her in the first round. Like, it wasn't crazy for them to pick her in the first round, but I would say that it was a little surprising. And then just to wrap up at Dallas's draft, Ashley Jones in the 2nd round, and shouts to our guy Calvin Wetzel. Paige Robinson of Illinois State in the 3rd round, baby. Let's go, Paige. Let's go, Redbirds.
Go Birds.
We are the Redbird faithful here on the Her Hoop Stats podcast. But man, Dallas's draft, as always, interesting.
Yeah,
we knew it was going to happen. That was another thing we knew was going to happen.
Yes,
Dallas or Indiana are going to do something that makes you go, wow. And it wasn't Indiana this year. It really good for them. Yes. Lynn Dunn, baby.
Yes.
Lynn Dunn getting it done. But yeah, so I think we're good on Dallas. Let's move on to some of our questions here that I have. So my first question, Dano, to you is: who do you think, which player ended up in a really good situation for them? Who has the best fit for a pick in a team?
Ooh, I mean, part of me wants to say Diamond Miller, right? I think that just kind of works for her. With everything we talked about before and the opportunity to play with some extremely talented players and a coach that will kind of let her like be her.
Yeah.
But I really just like Lou.
You like Lou?
I like Lou.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a great fit. Yeah, you're right. You were right on that.
I mean, shooters, man. I love shooters.
Yeah.
I love offense.
When like specifically, right? Like that is what we talked about Dallas. They needed someone like her, and she's going to come in and just be able to do what she's good at.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point. I love Diamond as well. I think her there with Aerial Powers, Kayla McBride, and Cheryl Reeve, like
so fun.
She's going to be put into some great positions. I mean, she's going to come off those Iverson cuts, rip through, go right to the basket, which is what she did in college, and she's going to have even more space to do that with shooters coming off, man. Like, I think she's going to learn a lot more about how to play the position that they need her to play, which is kind of like a point forward-ish thing. I think she's going to have a lot more reps in that. And it's going to be awesome to see. So I'm excited for her. My pick, though, and this is one that we got really excited about during the draft, Haley Jones to Atlanta.
Yes.
I thought,
yes.
I hadn't considered her getting to 6 because she was someone that we didn't see dropping, and we're fans of Haley, and she's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, may have had the most fun of anyone at this draft. Got her camcorder at the Empire State Building, just like talking to everyone. Like she kind of felt like the mayor. Like she came up to Taylor Mikesell, and I guess they had talked about their outfits before, and she goes, "Taylor, the outfit really came together." And I was like, she's so cool, and like, I don't know, I really like we've all fallen in love with Haley, but I think her in Atlanta, perfect fit, right? Like being that point forward with Ryan Howard and everything they want to have going, I think it's a great landing spot.
And because we talked about this a little bit before, and I mean, you brought up Haley being a fit at a lot of different teams. But you said Atlanta yesterday, but I was kind of hoping for Dallas, just because I guess I was hoping that you'd just go higher. But like thinking about it holistically, and like what they're building there, and the culture of that team, it's like it's young, but it's like exciting energy and a really awesome opportunity for. I mean, like you told me 2 years ago you're getting Haley Jones in the 6th pick in the draft. Like
unbelievable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think a lot of us kind of fell into a thought process of looking at this season only, but like Haley could be the best player to come out of this draft.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Maybe best IQ in this draft too, like best basketball IQ. I mean,
yeah.
And why didn't she go to Stanford?
Yeah, she's up there too. I mean, Haley. I mean, hard to find people as good at everything as Haley Jones is. Like, she's so much better at podcasting than us. It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair, Haley. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's a great podcast. You guys should listen to that.
Yeah, great call. Great fit, though. Yeah.
But like, man, I really love in terms of the basketball fit too. Like, they need a point guard. Not that Ari McDonald's not good. It's just like she's not necessarily the type of player who kind of runs the offense as much. I think Haley's the type of player who runs the offense and fits alongside Ryan Howard.
Yeah.
And you you said it like, hey, if you told me 2 years ago you get Haley Jones 6th pick, if you told me 2 years ago as Atlanta, where we were, that we're gonna get Ryan Howard and Haley Jones after having the number 3 and number 6 picks in the draft, because that's what they had. They had the 3 pick they traded up.
Yeah.
So like, man, I'm so impressed by what they've done. Dan Padover in a few years, and Tanisha Wright in Atlanta. I think Haley's landing in a great spot, and I think it goes back to something I always talk about on here. In life and in basketball, your success is so determined by your situation and the people around you. And she is going to a place in a situation and the people that can make her successful.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of those concerns about her shooting, her finishing, what she did this year, how she struggled, yada, yada. Well, hey, now you're in a place that can get rid of those concerns and help you and make you better. And she's going to get better. I mean, she's just that type of person. I'd say all these players are going to get much better. That's why they're that's why they're picked in the first round of the draft, right?
For sure.
So I'm really stoked for her just in terms of landing in the right spot, because, hey, look, in your life, in the draftee's life, everywhere, situation and who you're around matters.
Yeah, that's why I keep you around.
Oh man, that's why I keep Dano around.
No, but I was also going to say, like, if shooting is the biggest thing to harp on with a player, like, that's like the easiest teachable thing. And I know I said I love shooters before, but like, I don't mean to bring up an NBA comp. Like, I know people hate when people do that, but like, look at Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
was one of the worst shooters I've ever seen, and now like an absolute consistent threat from 3. Like that, if that's what you have to worry about her development, you're fine. Like, she can correct that in an offseason, in my opinion. It just, I mean, she wasn't really asked to do that at Stanford either.
Yeah. No, I agree. And so with shooting, I actually disagree. I think shooting's really tough to teach, right?
Gabe, I'll take you out to St. Catharines Park. Look, 20 minutes, and I'll make you the best shooter in the east side of Manhattan.
Look, you got to teach me how to do that, because I love my team. My team's great guys. We practice shooting so hard. They work their butts off, and we just not get better at shooting throughout the season. So hopefully during the offseason we do that. As Mike Neighbors told us, at the Final Four, we're good at shooting, we're bad at making. So maybe Haley Jones just bad at making. But honestly, here's the thing with Haley Jones that I want to point out. When you look at players that have a large volume of threes, you can kind of determine how good they're going to be going forward. So if you've taken like 100 threes a year, or even 100 threes in one season, we can kind of see like how good you're going to be in terms of like, did you get to a point where you could be a good shooter? Haley has such small volume that it can get much better with a lot more game reps, a lot more practice with it, a lot more focus on it, like you're saying. Someone like a Jackie Young comes to mind. Jackie Young at Notre Dame, she shot a really good percentage in her senior year, but it was on like, I don't know, 25 attempts, like very, very few attempts. So when you look at that low volume, you can say, hey, there is growth potential there. And same with someone like a Grace Berger. I think that's also one of the thought process. She shot 40% on I don't know, 30 attempts. That's another part of the thought process of like those low volume shooters have more of a way to get better in the pros.
Yeah. Valid. I love that Jackie Young comparison.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to believe that looking at her season last year, like that she only took 25 threes as a senior. What a fun Notre Dame team.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What an amazing team.
Yeah, God.
What an amazing team. All right, let's keep going. Karina, I don't know what did I sound like? What sounds like a me problem? But anyways, Karina, we're gonna give Letitia Yami here a shout out here. I think it's a good pick. I think that's another player that's landing in a good spot. She can learn from Monique Billings. I think that's kind of the player she's gonna be more or less like. And hey, get the ball in her hands a little bit more because there was not a lot of ball to go around at South Carolina. Develop that offensive game, and get even better. But I think her defense is gonna be an absolute problem in the WNBA and her length. All right, let's keep it rolling here because we're windbags. We talk a lot. Let's talk about who we think is going to be Rookie of the Year.
Ooh, yeah. Easy. Not easy, actually.
Well, so I'll give you want to give the hard answer or the easy answer?
You go first.
Okay. It's Aliyah Boston. She's going to have the most opportunity. She's going to have the biggest name recognition. And I think she's going to be in a situation where she's going to be relied upon the most. I could see her struggling offensively in her rookie year, but honestly, I think she's going to be able to grab rebounds and play such good defense that if people really pay attention to her, I'm guessing she's going to have the best or most productive rookie season just because of all the opportunities she's going to get.
Okay, I'm gonna also, be annoying and drop an NBA reference.
Okay.
The Michael Carter Williams Rookie of the Year award, like great stats, awful team. Jordan Horston in Seattle.
Yeah,
like. She's gonna play. And she's gonna have a lot of opportunities to do things. Aside of, who else do they have scoring? Gabby Williams isn't coming back. Sue Bird's not coming back. Brianna's not coming back.
Yeah, I got their starting five as Kia Nurse, Jewel Lloyd, Sammy Whitcomb, Ezzie Magwigor, Mercedes Russell, and then their bench is. No offense to any of these players, kind of a mess. Like it's just not. There's players that haven't been in the league for a little bit. Maybe Jade Melbourne comes over, but I'm with you. Especially because. I don't think Seattle's going to be that bad.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a lottery team. I think they're going to challenge for the.
Did they make the playoffs?
You're asking me May questions in April, buddy.
My bad.
You're asking. I don't think so though. Okay. If I had initial gut check, I don't think they make the playoffs. Yeah. I think they're probably the last team out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But if say they start off bad, if I'm a team, I'm worried about developing my young talent, right? If the writing's on the wall, we're not making the playoffs. Let's get Jordan Horston some reps. Do I think she can average, 12 and 5? I don't think so. But I don't see any of these.
I could see her doing that.
I don't know, but it's hard to see any of these rookies stepping into a role like some of the rookies we've had in recent years. Ryan Howard was anointed the probably highest usage percentage of a rookie we've seen since Candace Parker or something, she was shooting more shots than anybody on her team. And that doesn't normally happen in what year are we in? 2023? That was Ryan Howard's season was awesome.
Yeah. Ryan and Shakira had
oh my God,
legendary rookie years. And Melissa had a good year too. It just got lost in the shuffle with those two.
Yeah. So it's hard. I guess it's hard to compare him to other years, but yeah, I think Boston's a safe pick. You're right.
Yeah. No, but I like Horston too because she is going to get opportunity there. They don't have that sort of athletic, that athlete on and most positions. Jewel Lloyd obviously is there, but and also I really love the idea of Horston learning from Lloyd. With all her athleticism, she just needs some more of a moveset, more of a way to get to her spots, and obviously more shooting. And I think those three things are something that Jewel got better at.
Talk about a pull-up queen, my God.
And that's what that's who she needs to learn from. So
that's a good point.
I think Horston has a shot at Rookie of the Year as well. But I have Boston up top. I could see Seegers doing it. Hey man, why don't we give some Haley Jones? Haley Jones a little love.
Haley
Jones. Really?
You talk about
could step into the starting lineup.
She averages what? 10 boards last year? 7 assists? No, it may be too high. 5? I don't know.
She's not going to have two giants in the paint. You know,
I want to see that. I want to see it translate. I mean, she's probably the person I'm most intrigued by. So yeah, I could see it. But Boston's a safe play. I mean, I'm a betting man, and if I were to bet, I mean, if I were to set odds, she would be the odds-on favorite for sure.
Yeah, Boston is and she's gonna, man. I'm excited to see Boston. Yeah. I'm excited to see Boston, but it's just like a player we know so much about. But yeah, I think Jones up there, Horston up there, hopefully, and I'm sure there's gonna be someone that comes in from left field as well. Speaking of left field, steal of the draft. Let's dive a little deeper. I would say so. Preliminarily, I would say Jordan Horston is the steal of the draft. I had her at the 4th pick. She drops down to 9. I think Seattle did a great job of snagging that talent and that potential. But we kind of want to dig a little deeper here. So who is your steal of the draft, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, should we keep it out of round? Let's keep it out of round 1.
Out of round 1.
Just I mean, and granted, like we know that not every player is going to make a roster, but let's say in a perfect world they do. Or I mean, it's a stash player and they play later. But yeah, so yeah, let's keep it round 2.
Okay.
This is completely vibes. And I think I'm changing my pick from what I discussed with you earlier and what I said last night.
Sure.
These are vibes. This is probably like if we had a dog of the year, like just got that dog in her, like absolutely. She caught me off guard yesterday. She called me out for asking how I knew she would be okay on the top of the Empire State Building. Alexis Morris, if she can make that roster, like I know it's going to be hard, but she has the confidence.
Absolutely. That is unquestionable. Yes. She absolutely has the confidence.
She has the confidence. Has like the ability to manage a game like not a lot of other point guards do. I think Henny also had that ability, right? Mm-hmm. Like really control the pace. Doesn't have to score, but can score anytime she wants. And like it may be redundant with Nia Clouden.
I think they're actually different.
You think they're different enough?
Yeah, I mean they're both small, but I mean Nia is more of a shooter, pull up type of player. Spot up type of player, whereas Alexis has the pull up game. I think they're different enough.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see her make it. I told her mom, I'm going to Connecticut. I'm gonna make sure that she's taken care of. Shout out Beaumont, Texas. Yeah, so maybe I'm going way off topic there. I mean, you could also say Bree Bill, who Holly just badgered about why she didn't score.
And also, she was a 38% 3-point shooter this year, just for the record. I thought. But regardless, I actually really like Alexis Morris because I have my depth charts here, and I'm looking around, and it's like,
is there a shot?
I think there's a shot. I mean, I don't know. I got to look at the salary cap situation and see if they can carry 12 players. If they can carry 12 players, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players battling for a spot. Few of them, like, Kiara Smith was the round pick last year. I would probably say Morris has a better shot. Niara Fields, interesting prospect, Canadian player. And then we have Kiki Herber-Harrigan coming back, and then, Victoria McCauley and Ashton Prechtel, who I think they're just coming in to hang out for a brief week in Connecticut. Yeah, coming out. Yeah, they want to go see the Mohegan Sun, really.
Oh yeah,
the Taj Mahal of southeastern Connecticut casinos.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to get in trouble with Connecticut fans here or the Mohegan Sun tribe, but like I need that team somewhere else in America. I really do. I hope I never have to go back there. But I will. I'll make Gabe go with me. But yeah, I mean, if it works out, great. Really hope there's a spot for her. I mean, that team can be really fun this year. Yeah. It's going to be so different without Jonquel in the mix, and I don't think they've ever really relied on guard play too heavily in the last few years. But I mean, you have like one player that plays all 5 positions anyways. So yeah. So I don't know. That's fine. Who's yours?
So I'm looking. I just want to get some of their comments in here about Beal, and hey, shout out to Maya Hirsch. She's not coming over this year, but shout out to Maya Hirsch.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of people saying Beal. as the player, and I think that's a great point. It's you know, it's hard. She has the uphill battle to make the roster. She's also a really good player.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's certainly not out of it. Mark Schindler, come on, Mark. God, Uncasville is the Vegas of the Northeast. Get him out of here.
Well, that's Atlantic City, but
yeah, really.
Yeah, gosh, get out of Ohio for once.
Get out of here,
clown.
Get out of here.
Just kidding, Marco.
Hey, shouts to Zaya Cook though, Toledo, Ohio, forever. Zaya, just like a personal love of mine.
God,
we didn't. She didn't fit into any of the categories.
But we have not talked about her. But like Mike, oh yeah, you said the best fit, and you said clutch performer. Yeah, God, yeah. I just love her so much.
As the owner of a very large house on Zaya Cook Island, I'm elated. I'm elated that she's gonna be she was a first round pick, and I was right on that.
Is your house still as big on Nia Cloud9 Island?
I had to get rid of some of it to buy some property on Zaya Cook Island and various other places. But we're diversifying. It's like I have my condo there. We're okay. I think she's, Nia's gonna be great, man.
Okay.
The spot up here. All right, my steal of the draft. Let's get to it. I have two because I like to cheat. I like Elena Chinecki at 20. I had her as a first round pick to the She's on the Mystics. Look, they
need a guard.
They need a guard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, though. It's going to be tough for her to make the roster. She had to beat out some good players. Abina Westbrook is on that list. Jasmine Jones on that list. Going to have to beat out some really good players, but I love the way she operates in the pick and roll. I love that she can pull up from above the break on the three-point line. Those two skills are like what you need to be a good backup point guard in the WNBA, and the Mystics need a good backup point guard. So I think she can fill that role if she makes the team. I'm excited to just meet her in training camp too. I think she's just a dog. And Jose Fernandez, Mr. Miami, he's even more Miami than me. It is down there at South
Florida.
More
Miami than me.
So I'm a huge fan. But yeah, I think she has a shot. She has
Definitely.
a shot. But I think the player who actually is my steal of the draft, because I thought about it last night, is Dorka Juhas. Dorka going, I forget what number. She goes to the Minnesota Lynx in the second round at pick number 4. So that's 16th pick. Maya Hirsch is, as I mentioned, staying in France for a season. So that big that, they picked in the first round, not going to be there. It can be more of a stash. They still have a need for these stretch bigs. There's never enough stretch bigs.
Well, and they succeed there. Well, I'm blanking on her name.
Okay. Oh, we're back, baby.
Jesus Christ.
We're back. Let's go. The steal of the draft is us being able to come back on the StreamYard after losing all connection in the house. Shouts.
It's out the most uncomfortable city.
Shouts to the most uncomfortable city in the world. Also the best city in the world somehow. Hey, yeah, Phoenix, we're saved, baby. Oh, that's Tiger. My bad. Y'all got the same. I always just see the South Carolina stuff. Love y'all. All right. What were we talking about? Dorka Juhas. Yes. I just think she's the type of player that they love in Minnesota. She has a chance to make that roster. And she, like the UConn players, I know everyone's gonna want to hate this. I'm gonna say this about the South Carolina players too. Once program, we can say, "Oh, look at all these players." We probably say that now too. But like UConn players just come into the league, they know what to do. And I think she is like the type of big that really could work there. And hell, like there's a chance she could be like their 6th, 7th player if she really works out. With some of the questions they have in their front court. So that is like that's my steal. Along with Chineke, I just think Dorka has a better chance to make it the roster.
I'll throw one more second round pick at you.
Sure.
Just real quick, Keanu Traylor.
Yeah.
Like absolute stud. Tweeted last night. Love the pick. Maybe can make that Chicago Sky roster.
I think she's gonna make the Chicago roster.
Like, talk about improvement over the last year. Was confident as hell. Excited for her. Works extremely hard. Hoping for the best.
Yeah, no, I think she's an awesome player. Kenny Brooks system, baby. It's our guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
It's one of those days.
Just one of those days. Just one of those days, guys. But all right. Hey, Phoenix, we're back, baby. We're back. All right, let's wrap this up. Up. All right. Finally, last question of the draft. I can't change the banner because we don't have internet. We're going to talk about the winner of the draft. So, Dano, who's your winner of the draft?
My winner of the draft. Oh man, that's tough.
It's fine.
Dawn Staley won.
Yes.
Just God. I mean, if you're a recruit and you see that, like, ooh,
she's gonna be playing the video of this draft forever.
Yeah, 5 players. I think it's the 4th time in history that a team has sent 5 players in the draft. But if I'm picking a team, I'm right between the Fever and I'm going to pick the Fever. I don't think I've ever shown Indiana like consistent love ever. But one, your fan base is probably hyped with the addition of Grace Berger. You get the
Aliyah Boston.
I mean, the absolute number 1 pick of all time. And
I think people
number 2, you get one of the best shooters of all time.
Yeah.
I think Taylor Mikesell has that kind of potential.
I think she's the absolute type of person who can come in and make that team and like make a big difference as a shooter because she just has that one magic skill. I'm picking the Washington Mystics without a 1st round pick because what they did was just, I think, such a great asset play. I think it was so them. I'll make a pick based on the draft picks. I love what the Lynx did. I think getting Diamond Miller, getting Dorka Juhas, getting Maya Hirsch, who could be a really, really good player down the line, very on brand for Minnesota, and giving Cheryl Reeve those toys, kind of feels like they've reloaded a little bit. And going forward, we'll see what else they can do. So for Dano, I'm Gabe. We gotta do something. We gotta get out of here because the basketball gods are telling us that it's time to wrap up. We've been here like all of March. We've been doing so much stuff talking about college hoops. It's just gonna go right into the WNBA season. We'll be right back by the time the season starts. Make sure you check out Courtside with Christy and Gabe. Probably back next week, and then obviously dice it up with Dano and Ice, and also check out we're going to have some more content come from the Final Four.
Yeah, we have some great interviews that we're dropping here soon. Also, Gabe and I might be making a little road trip through some ACC, SEC country next year, doing some really cool content with some awesome programs and coaches. Maybe a little golf. With some head coaches. Maybe me trying to guard a couple D1 players getting cooked.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, we love seeing self-deprecating humor for myself. But Gabe, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming to New York. Thanks for staying in our guest room.
Dude, it's an amazing time. It's a great time when we get to hang out, when you get to do stuff with like your actual friends. Like it's super dope. So we hope you guys enjoy it. We hope you guys are you guys are also our real friends. Like we're all internet friends here, guys. So let us know if you got any ideas for a road trip in the off season, and let us know if you're going to any WNBA games. There's a chance we might be at them. So for Dano and Gabe, we'll talk to you soon.